Hello, everybody, and welcome back to week 3 of the Teacup for One Debatable Christmas Movie Marathon. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and I am so excited for tonight's show. We are discussing a movie that I keep forgetting is one of my favorite movies. Like, I haven't seen it that many times, but when I rewatch it, I think this is a solid film. Is it a Christmas movie? Who's to say? I kind of think it is. We'll get there, though. Today we are talking about the 1960-something, 68 classic. Let me look it up. Hold on. It'll be worth it. Yeah, the 1968 Academy Award-winning feature film, The Lion in Winter. It's based on a play that only came out in like 1966 or something. Like, it was a big hit, as it well should have been, because the writing is just, it's so good. It's a play that I desperately, at some point in my life, want to be in. I auditioned for it once. It didn't go well. But anyway, we're discussing it today. It won an Oscar for Katharine Hepburn for Best Actress in a Leading Role. Historical, because this is one of the only, if not the only times that the leading actress category was a tie. I believe she tied that year for this movie with Barbara Streisand in, my guess is Funny Girl, but I'm not positive. I named the first Streisand movie that came to mind. What else was she in? Dolly and Meet the Fockers, and okay, anyway, let's bring in our first guest for this evening. Oh, who's it gonna be? One of them is off camera and one of them is doing a costume change. So actually, I'm gonna stall for a few more seconds. Here we go. Let's go into the chat here. Yoda for Mark knows, so well written. The writing is impeccable. It is such a quotable movie. And what I love about this film is it totally takes you by surprise, because it's a little slow for like the first 5 minutes, and then it just ramps up and you're like, all of a sudden you're like, I'm so invested in these medieval politics. Oh, Vince is here. Hello, hello. And of course, my cats, speaking through my mother's account because Google banned their accounts because they, I think, found out that they were not humans. So Eliza first. Hello, this is Eliza. I will try to watch this. I like lions, but I don't like winter. Eliza, winter is fun. You like winter. You have such a beautiful, luscious fur coat to keep you warm during the winter. And then Sabrina, the other cat, her laptop is broken. She might watch with Eliza. And then my mom, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. All right, let's bring in our first guest for this evening, everyone. It's Alex T-Tie. Hi, Alex. Hey, it feels like only 17 hours ago we were watching the Star Wars holiday special for the Teacup for One holiday special that will air eventually.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would, and we'll find out together. It would have been really funny if you had like 3 more hands that came out to do that while stirring and whipping.
And
stirring.
And
stirring
what ladling.
And ladling, stirring, and whipping. Yeah. So, Alex, welcome back. How have you been?
I had 2 pizzas today.
2?
Yeah.
From where? Domino's?
No. Little Caesars.
Oh, gross.
No,
did you know? No. Actually, I meant to tell you this, Alex, and I'm sorry, we're going to distract from the marathon for a little bit, but this might be my only chance to tell Alex this. And it's important not just for him, but for Canadians. On Monday, Pizza Hut, now I know how you feel, but still, Pizza Hut, they're having a free refill promotion where if you bring a pizza box from any chain to the Pizza Hut, they will give you a free pizza. It's their way of promoting their new hand-tossed crust. It's like the first 500 people at any given location that bring in a used pizza box will get a fresh pizza box with a fresh pizza in it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That does. I thought they would like fill your used pizza box.
No. They were very careful to specify on the website that that's not what they're doing. They you have to throw out your existing pizza box. But it was really funny because the advertisement for it had the pizza boxes from all their competitors, like the Little Caesars box, the pizza box, and maybe Geno's, except they were blurred out. It was just for marketing.
They can't promote the.
Yeah, what did Vince say? Lisa and I watched a Christmas movie called Carol, a documentary about famous composer Lydia Tarr trying to exist as a queer woman in post-war America, seducing ladies. And Lisa, is that what Carol's about?
No!
Is it a Lydia Tarr crossover?
Literally needs to stop with the Lydia Tarr joke.
What do you mean? The Lydia
Tarr also isn't a famous composer, but
yes, she is.
The joke
no, she isn't.
the joke is like Kate Blanchett is actually Lydia Tarr, and Tar was a whole documentary based on our review of
Those are
Tar
coming out.
2 months ago. So yes, yeah.
I personally want to believe that. My favorite Lydia Tarr meme was it was an image of a movie theater screen, and it just said Lydia Tarr will return in like the Marvel vibes when it was like Thanos will return. Lydia Tarr.
Hey,
I thought that was
I'd watch it.
As would I. As would I. So
Lydia
I
Tarr
forgot
too?
I forgot to do our intro question of the day. I was just so like I had to bring Lisa in to react to Vince, but I guess I'll go for both of you. So same question as last week. Marry, hook up, kill the 3 sons of Eleanor and Henry.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Wait, can we include Eleanor in this?
Okay, sure. The whole family.
Yeah, let's do
And
it.
Alice too. And Philip.
Can we?
Yeah.
We can include Philip? Yay!
Philip.
Definitely
Philip
fucking
is
Philip.
Eleanor's like stepson, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the family. It's all very incestuous.
I can't wait to break down the family of this.
Like the family
movie.
tree.
They
Yeah,
can't
like
wait
the
to break
history.
each other either.
Like it's so dramatic. I love it so much. Anyway, sorry. What was the question again?
Oh yeah, so marry, bleep, kill. Any 3 characters, I guess, from this movie.
Any 3 characters.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, it started as the sons, but let's open it up.
The son's more interesting because then I'll just pick like the hot chick or whatever, like for obvious purposes. So I'm gonna stick with with I'm gonna kick with like I mean I guess I'm just gonna stick with the three
sons? Okay.
3 sons because yeah. I
mean, I think it's obvious. I think it's as obvious if we're just looking at the sons as Batman was
because here's why it's not obvious because Joffrey is Jeffrey is sorry, just I conflate with Game of Thrones. Jeffrey is he is
material.
both he's marriage material, but he's also the prettiest. So he's the one that like nobody cares about.
Yeah.
So like my instinct is like let's have some fun in the roll in the hay with Jeffrey.
Okay.
But like on the other hand, it's like but I want between John and Richard.
John and Richard,
you I don't want to marry either.
The whole movie is about how nobody wants to marry either.
Yeah, I'd marry like I could be okay marrying Richard because Richard's like he's a no bullshit guy. He's a man of honor. He does have virtuous traits. But he's not like the prospect of like the intellectual sort of repartee with Jeffrey is like it's almost too good to pass up, if not too good to pass up. So it's like, do I bite? I probably bite the bullet. I'd probably marry Jeffrey.
Yeah.
And I guess just because John is such a useless pile of garbage, I would just kill John, and I guess I'd bite the bullet and hook up with Richard.
We call that pulling a Philip.
Yeah, exactly.
Bite the bullet. Yeah,
I would have. And the honorable mention is that like a little cheat or not cheat sheet, but a little cheat here would be like, if I include Philip, then I'm definitely hooking up with Philip. And then Richard can.
But you have no way of knowing that Philip isn't doing that in the interest of using that.
Oh, I don't care why he's doing it.
Later, okay.
I don't care why he's doing it. He's pretty.
Okay, Lisa, how about you?
So I dislike Jeffrey, and what's the other one's name? Not Richard, the other one.
John
and Jeffrey can die. Like I think they're both so bland.
You can poison ivy one of them, so you can kill one of them, and then you can hook up poison ivy style and kill the other one too. Well, I'm just saying by the rules of the game.
I wouldn't really want to waste poison ivy it.
I understand, but you can only kill one.
I'm just gonna kill both of them.
Okay.
This is my fantasy. And then I would marry Richard because he would be an amazing beard. And I don't think he gives off gay vibes. I think he gives off bi vibes. So we can have a Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy thing going on. If you don't know that reference, I'm happy to explain it later. And then I would marry Eleanor.
Yeah, she deserves to be treated well. We'll get into that.
I think I could treat her very well.
I mean, I think my answer is more or less in line with what Alex said. Like, kill kill John, but then we don't get Robin Hood, but like whatever. Kill John, marry Jeffrey, Richard hook up if we're doing the siblings. But speaking of Eleanor, Queen Eleanor, we actually have a very special guest this evening. 4-time Academy Award winner Katharine Hepburn as Eleanor of Aquitaine is joining us.
Stop it.
You're muted.
Good, because I sounded like Mrs. Doubtfire, not Catherine Hepburn.
Hello.
No, wait, let's do the intro again. Hold on. I need the voice. 4-time Academy Award winner Katharine Hepburn as Eleanor of Aquitaine is here.
Hello. It still sounds like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello.
And I look like one of the Marleys, not Eleanor. My puffballs came out. I was like, I can't stop looking like a Marley. It's not.
The last like 10 minutes have just been me watching Jeanette in
Hot.
being
I'm
like readjust.
It's good though.
It looks
Right
great.
here. I was like, I have to do it. Now I'm dying.
It looks great.
Uh,
Welcome, Jeanette. Same question for you. Who's your Mary Bleep kill in this movie?
Oh my goodness. Well, if we're including Philip, then yeah. I would have to go bleeping Philip, and I mean he's the king of France. Can we just?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I don't know, probably kill poor little John. I mean, he sounds, he just seems like he's the runt of the litter in some capacity.
Yeah, it's a mercy. It's a benefit to him. Anyway,
so he seems troublesome at very best. So
yeah. Wait, and who are you marrying?
Oh, I'm gonna marry Philip too.
You're marrying? Oh,
I'm the king of France. It's not like I'm taking any risks.
Okay.
Wait, you don't want to like marry like Richard? He becomes Richard the Lionheart.
Yeah, but the other one's already a king. He doesn't have to fight and then fight again for the throne.
I guess
he's already king, and he's hot. And
but don't you want to be there with him through like his unknown years, and then like he makes his way to be like the big.
Yeah. The other one's younger, and he's already known. So I mean,
that's true. And also the other one, he just seems he's more considerate. He thinks things through. He's a man with goals. Whereas
Philip?
Philip.
Philip is not more motivated than Richard. Richard has goals. His whole movie is going on. I would have the third.
I was more motivated. I'm saying that Philip is smarter, and Philip has plans like long.
You literally did say
also doesn't act like a little crying baby at any part in this.
Okay, but
Richard doesn't really act like a crying baby either.
Richard kind of does.
He literally has a scene where he stomps his feet and clenches his fist and goes, "But wait, he was
outed." He was literally
but
I think that is fine to be like all throwing a tantrum when you're like
he was throwing a tantrum. He wasn't crying, but anyway.
But like, okay, hold on. But Philip is like an evil gay French man. Like
he's not evil. Philip isn't evil.
No. Philip isn't gay. Philip is he's an opportunist.
We don't know that he's not.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying the only evidence we have of his gayness was an act that
we know that he used
that was a
sex
deception
to get what he wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Richard has a different story about that. Richard was like, "Oh no, like." He's the one who came on to me, and we were like in love. So like that doesn't seem like an opportunity. It just seems like a genuine.
First of all, Henry said earlier in the movie he's listing all the people he's been with, and he's like, and he ends the list with little boys, and I'm like,
yeah.
Throw that one in at the end.
Like
no, but little boys don't count. Little boys don't count.
Like son.
Back then, I suppose.
Yeah.
I know. I
in medieval times.
Philip was a literal child. Philip was a child that Richard was taking advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
They were both little.
No. It was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
It was 2
years prior.
It was 2 years prior?
Yeah, because Philip was 17 and he was talking about when he was 15.
I thought he was.
And he keeps going on about how I'm not the same little boy that you knew 2 years ago.
Philip is supposed to be 17 in this movie? Oh, wow.
Yes.
I missed that.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's a
Richard's
teen-
around the
a
same
He's
age.
an
prince.
he's an old-looking 17.
No, Richard's like 40.
No, Richard is supposed to be 20. Richard is supposed to be 26.
Yeah. I was
Jeffrey's
joking.
25.
I was
John
joking.
is 16, and I'm not sure how old Philip is supposed to be. I guess
Philip, I
56,
think they
17.
said, yeah,
17.
he's a teen prince. Yeah.
Yeah, they say it.
He has a very impressive beard for a 17-year-old.
I wouldn't say very impressive, but
I think it's
sure.
pretty impressive. Like the shape.
Pretty.
Of it.
I take pretty impressive. I just wouldn't
Yeah.
take very impressive.
Oh yeah, so we're jumping ahead. Let's so Lion in Winter. Here it is. It's a
Here we are.
movie about it. Like the way that this movie was pitched to me by I don't want to call them a friend, by somebody that I worked with on multiple projects and had lots of heated debates about directing with. He told me that this movie was like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, but in a castle. And that
I
sold
agree.
me. I was like, I love Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I love castles. Let me watch it. And I did. And I loved it then. And I had not picked it up or watched it in probably 7 to 9-ish years, but I love it just as much, if not more now. So this is my first time revisiting it really since my initial Lion in Winter phase. And I adore it. I don't know, as a personal preference, I very much enjoy, for the most part, movies that are based on plays that keep the dialogue intact. I haven't read the play, but it feels to me like a lot of the good dialogue was kept intact in this movie because it's just people talking in rooms, very, very wittily. And I think the performances are so good. I think the casting is so on point. And that to me was totally confirmed when I watched like bits and pieces of the Glenn Close remake and saw the same text done not well. And it's the only time I've been underwhelmed by Glenn Close and underwhelmed by Patrick Stewart. But yeah, that it exists and it's fine.
Whoa.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
for
I gotta check
film
it
for
out.
TV or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's made for TV. And I think just what I take for granted with this is that all the dialogue flows so naturally and they just all feel very much like suited to the roles and the relationships feel real. And when I see the other version of it, the made for TV version, that's where, I don't know, it feels a bit more artificial. It feels more like I'm watching a play. I can't articulate it. I don't like it. I like this. I love this. Had anyone seen this and or heard of it before the marathon? Lisa, let's jump to you.
I in grade 11 history class, we had like an independent study project. And it was like classic history. So it was like Egyptian, Mesopotamia. And I was like, I want to do something on like queens, but like not Egyptian queens. And my history teacher was like, do Eleanor of Aquitaine.
Nice.
And I was like, okay.
Oh, who was it? Who was the teacher? Was it Miss Soboleski?
No, it was Miss
Oh.
Hartok.
Oh, okay. We love her too.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I don't really know who Eleanor is, but I guess I'll do the project on her. And I watched this movie, fell asleep, and like gave the most half-assed report ever on her. And I feel so bad now rewatching this movie and being like, she was such a badass. Like 15-year-old Lisa had no idea what I was like passing up on. I should have like given that report all I got, but I didn't. Anyway, so I did watch this, but I fell asleep through it when I was 15 years old. That's my hot take. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
never too late. And
Never
Alex and you're Lisa. Alex and Jeanette, was this your first time ever seeing and or hearing of this movie?
Yes, on both accounts.
Nice.
I
Alex?
think you may have brought it up in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, incidentally, but in principle, yeah. Yeah.
Nice. So opening thoughts. Let's start with Jeanette. Opening thoughts, having now seen the movie.
As with most of the movies in a category, and I don't want to say it's before movies I watch movies that are plenty old. I don't know, a box of movies that I would not have watched on my own. It was better than I expected. And it felt of its time. Like it didn't feel like one of those movies that's like, oh man, this feels like it was made now. Like it doesn't. It's okay. It doesn't have to. And I loved it. I said this to you off air, but I am just happy to get a reason to watch another Katharine Hepburn film because I enjoy her, but I have only seen 2 of her films and they were both quite a while ago. So this was nice to get fresh eyes on her again.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Katharine Hepburn, minus the other two movies I've seen, which I think are the same two you've seen. Which
African
On Golden
Queen
Pond and
On
African
Golden Pond.
Queen.
On Golden Pond is a horrible snooze fest, and African Queen is, from what I remember, awesome. My dad loves that movie, but I think like Lisa already brought up, it is very hard to separate Kate Blanchett and Katharine Hepburn in my brain. It's very hard.
Oh my god! Imagine Kate Blanchett playing Eleanor in like a remake.
Yeah, it would be perfect.
I think our generation's Katharine Hepburn is Kate Blanchett.
Who would be opposite her as Henry if we remade this with Kate Blanchett?
Daniel Craig. I could see.
Interesting.
I couldn't read him that way. I don't know.
Peter O'Toole is such a theatrical actor that I would want to put somebody kind of bigger than life.
Someone a little older too, but not too old.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
Anthony. Daniel Day-Lewis. Anthony Hopkins would actually be an interesting choice.
Old now.
He's too old. He is too old.
Could you do? I guess Morgan Freeman's too old too. I was like, could you do a Morgan Freeman?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Denzel Washington. I want Denzel.
Oh, he's too young.
Is he too young?
No,
he looks too young.
He looks too young.
No. Isn't Henry 50?
I've been watching. And
Campbell.
Denzel is the right age, but he's.
I want Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell could work. I'd take that. I'd take a look at that.
I don't know why. I was like, who's a sexy old guy? It's Bruce Campbell.
See, Vince gets it.
Fantastic.
But have you seen him in like The Equalizer? Like they're entertaining movies, but like, well, I'm talking to Vince here, but
okay. He's voting for Kate and Timothy Chalamet.
Oh God,
Timothy. You know what? I don't like Timothy in pretty well anything, but he would be perfect as either John or Philip.
Oh yeah,
that does make me think though. Could you have Johnny Depp? No, he's not a Cleveland type. It'd be Jack Sparrow as the kid.
Oh, Robert Downey Jr. Maybe. No.
As Henry?
As Henry, maybe. It'd be weird.
I think he could pull it off. He could pull it off, but he's not like the prototype for it.
Yeah, but also I guess if we're casting opposite Kate Blanchett, that's who we're casting with.
Yeah, you also want to balance Kate Blanchett out.
Jack Black, because they were really good together.
Oh, Jack Black.
In that movie that only I like.
What movie? Oh, that
House with a Clock in Its Walls.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah, that one.
I didn't see that one.
Or he's dead now, but Christopher Plummer would have been really good when he was younger.
What about
Christopher Plummer.
Sutherland?
Who?
Donald Sutherland.
Oh, I don't know.
He's
Donald Sutherland.
Almost dead.
Donald Sutherland.
Not.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, I'm thinking of Michael Douglas.
Donald Sutherland.
Oh, what about Michael
Douglas,
Keaton?
the older Douglas.
No, Donald Sutherland would actually be great because, like, if you think about him from The Hunger Games as President Snow with that long hair.
Oh, that's Donald.
Okay.
Really good.
Oh,
but he's old.
Hunger Games. What about Stanley Tucci? Because he can do no wrong.
No.
I'd be fine.
Jr.
Sure.
Both have the
Douglas
kind of
dead. Like he's definitely dead.
Wait a minute, is he dead?
Yeah, that's who I thought was almost dead. But he's actually dead.
I read Kirk Douglas. I thought Kurt Russell in my mind.
Oh, Kurt Russell would be good. Yeah.
Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn is Eleanor.
Kurt Russell.
Oh,
might have just hit the nail on the head. Kurt Russell would be pretty perfect.
Actually, Kurt Russell would be really good.
I don't know if he could handle the theatrics of Henry. I don't know.
That's true.
He seems like he plays Santa Claus.
As long as I get to be Jeffrey.
He also plays a murderer. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, by the end, we'll figure out who our cast is. Alex, what are your opening thoughts on this movie, having just watched it as a first timer?
Well, so I agree with the Virginia Woolf comparison. I'd say it's like in the modern context, to me, it certainly comes off as like a cross between Game of Thrones and Virginia Woolf.
Yeah.
And it's also like that's very neat to see, right? Because I'm a pretty big Game of Thrones fan, at least just from the television series. So yeah, it's like it was neat from that perspective of like, oh, like this predates that by quite a while, and there's a lot of like it's like OG Game of Thrones. And then I mean, I'm sure there are other movies or whatever that do the same thing, but this was neat. And otherwise, I enjoyed it. There are definitely flaws with the film from like film crafting perspective, or like an editing production perspective. But in terms of the actual, like the dialogue and the characters and the acting, and yeah, it's all very cool and enjoyable and very interesting. And I'd love to see the play.
Yeah, when New Works, the company two of us are involved with, first started, I mentioned in passing New Works should do Lion in Winter, and then a pseudo discussion was had, and I think it's been shelved. But we should get New Works to do Lion in Winter.
We get New Works to do Lion in Winter?
Well,
are the rights like $1 billion or something?
No, rights for plays are a lot cheaper than rights for musicals.
Yeah, so why would we want New Works to do it?
You're right. Never mind. Let's just do it. I just want to.
We're producers,
Jeffrey.
Matt.
I just want to be Jeffrey. That's all I care about, Alex. I want to do a production so that
Matt, I would be Jeffrey. I'm more of a Jeffrey than you are.
But I want to be Jeffrey. So
you're not Jeffrey. You're.
Am I Richard?
I mean, you have the aesthetic or an aesthetic for Richard, but I wouldn't necessarily cast you as Richard. Who would you
Henry?
be? Let's cast Matt. Henry.
Yeah,
I could pitch you for Henry.
I'm too young.
No, yeah, but relative to me, if I'm gonna be Jeffrey,
that's
then
true,
you're a shoo-in for Henry.
No, but you can be Henry, and then I can be Jeffrey.
Is that the deal? You're gonna persuade me to back off from Jeffrey with the Henry
better role.
with the Henry.
This was kind of how we negotiated when we cast the production of Midsummer. We all started. So.
That's true.
Yes, it's true. Yeah. Anyway, Lisa, how does the movie hold up for you now that you're not 15 and you didn't fall asleep?
Yeah, no. This movie aged really well for me because now I appreciate it more. I forgot it existed in like the realm of movies, so like it was really nice to come back and be like, oh yeah, I watched this and I was a silly little child all those years ago. I as a person who loves stories with like intense drama and specifically theater with like excellent gripping like conflict that like really just propels the story forward, like this was 10 out of 10. I like, it was so amazing. I was just like, and then I was looking up the history of like the actual people, because like this is a historical fiction, and this is like better than the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like this is so messy. It is so juicy. I understand why I didn't like it as a teenager. Because the first few minutes of it.
Oh, it's so slow for the first few minutes.
So slow. That silly little like play fighting thing on the beach.
What the editing of that scene? Oh,
no, and also I feel like the introduction to each brother, I like it in theory, but in practice, like showing Jeffrey watching the fight happen from the distance, and then like I get like they're seemingly trying to introduce us to who these people are as individuals before they bring them together, and like I get it. Theoretically, just in practice, I would have preferred it was tightened up and we got to like the engaging dialogue sooner. I also want to see more of Eleanor in her prison castle doing her needlework. So I'm like, what have you been doing? Show me more needlework. Yeah.
That sounds boring, actually.
Yeah, no, I
don't want to see Eleanor more in her.
I wanted to see more of her prison her life in the prison castle. Like before, I wish they would have shown us like a little clip. As much time as we spent watching rando soldiers that we have no idea what this battle's about on the beach.
What would have been really interesting, and I know this is not like in the play, but like if the movie started with her getting in prison, so we understood like where she stood with all of her sons and Richard, her husband, that could have been like a really cool introduction to the movie, like the beginning. But yeah, I don't know. I the rest of the movie after the beach war. So
I like the beach war. I thought it was cool.
Like, all like silly old men fighting with swords. Like this. So
that's what they did back then.
They beached.
They beached.
They beat their job.
That was their job.
They beached each other off.
Yeah. They had a beach off.
After beach, it was great. But it was castle. Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Everything in the castle. Love.
Yoda for Mark brought up Peter O'Toole was born in 32, Hepburn in 07, so they aged him up. they did age him up very well, and I did that quick math in my head, and that means that man was my age, and he was supposed to be playing an old man. He's 36.
Yeah, and in fairness, he didn't look as, at least from my perspective.
He didn't, especially when they had them very close, because the makeup, now that we're watching this on HD, like I was watching it on a tablet, not even on a big screen, and like poor Katharine Hepburn, because the makeup, I don't know if that was intentional to make it of the period, but they did not cover up that poor woman's face at all. It was very veiny next to Peter O'Toole's very tan face.
Her face was like, for how old?
Yeah, I thought you looked.
It was very tight. It was very tight, but it was very veiny. And when she was in the scene with Peter O'Toole and his lovely tan skin here, and her face is right here, I'm like, oh my.
Well, it's because War agrees with him. Oh no, that's Richard. War agrees with Richard.
So, so Henry II, when he died, he was 56, which was like a few years after.
Yeah.
Movie. So he was like in his 50s.
He does say in this he's supposed to be 52.
Oh, 52?
In
Okay.
this movie.
He's older than any man he knows.
So it is funny that he was only really 36. That's great. They did do a good job on him, but that also frightens me that they would pick up someone who's the age I am right now and be like, you're supposed to be the person that's going to die in a few years.
To bring it back to Virginia Woolf, it was kind of the same thing with Elizabeth Taylor as Martha, because she, I think, was way too young, or I think she was also in her early 30s, and Martha's supposed to be early to mid 50s. And that was a huge thing when when the casting was announced that they were casting Elizabeth Taylor in that role. And
interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I didn't realize that she was, because, and the guy, who was the guy?
It's Richard Burton. It was
Richard Burton.
How old was her husband, IRL. He was I think he was close to the proper age. I don't know for sure, but
yeah.
No, there was definitely an age discrepancy between Taylor and Martha.
Yeah.
So, but these movies make it work.
But yeah, Katharine Hepburn, Eleanor is supposed to be older than
Richard.
Henry.
Yeah.
Oh, is she?
Huh. Yeah, I think.
She says something about having already lived.
Yeah, she had done
years of life before he came into her life as like a young man or something, or like more than that. I don't know. She says something about having already done a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, she was Queen of France for like a minute.
I think it was her first marriage she was referring to in that one, in that sentence. Yeah. Wild. That marriage, that should have been a movie too. That's wild.
Which one? The first marriage?
Yeah, with King Louis VI. They got an annulment based on like the fact that they were either like first cousins or like a uncle or niece situation, but it was just a lie because they were like, "Oh, you're not bearing me any sons. Get the heck out of here." And the Pope wouldn't annul that marriage reason, so they just gave an excuse of like, "We're cousins."
Does Henry say why or does he just say he's calling in a favor to get the annulment in this movie, or does he?
Yeah.
Do they ever?
Yeah.
She says they won't do it because they have multiple children together, so it's like quite obvious, you know.
But honestly, the genealogy between Henry and Eleanor is actually, they're closer in cousins. Like they're like second or third.
Most of the Henrys in general were screwed, first of all, and then like I mean, because I can't say the other word, but totally just woo-hoo. And then like they also were extremely like, I think it's because they like don't do it. Mostly it was all cousins and stuff.
Yeah,
like all the Henrys, it was just.
Is that a bad word?
Cousins? No.
I moved on from the bad word.
I'm still there. I'm slow.
No,
sorry.
it's okay.
I know. It's
Takes
itching.
a while.
A hole in your pocket.
It's true. All right. So, yeah. Oh, there's so many things I want to dive into with this movie. Like where to start? Well, I think one thing that we've touched on is the fact that it is in fact an adaptation of a play. And as a personal preference, like I've said, I really like good adaptations of plays, specifically plays where it is just people talking in a room. And I always like seeing how adaptations approach that to make it visually interesting, if at all. So how does everyone feel it succeeded or didn't succeed at moving it out of what I'm assuming is probably on stage like a single location place to making it work in a filmic world? Like the thing that I appreciated in this was they used close-ups, read emotion on people's faces in reaction to things in a way that you wouldn't get the benefit of on stage. Like specifically when Richard's being outed and he's behind the tapestry, and we get to see Anthony Hopkins crying, or the shot with Katharine Hepburn and when he's like, I love you more than whatever, and then she's in the middle and it's like just slowly petting into her face so we could see her crying. Like, I think that's what it did effectively to kind of add a filmic, not twist, but another layer that we wouldn't necessarily get on stage as effectively. That's my opening statement.
I don't normally like plays adapted into movies because they don't make really good choices. I do think it's like really difficult to adapt a theater script into a film script. But I mean, I don't know, like it is still of the time of like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and I like that movie, which is adapted from a play. And I don't quite know why. Like maybe it's just because the conflict in both stories are so compelling and you're like, oh my god, what's happening here? Or it could have been like the actors, like Katharine Hepburn and Peter O'Toole are like so gripping. I don't know. But yeah, no, I don't normally like it. It's not a historical thing that I tend to gravitate to.
I would say I'm not usually a fan of, well, that's not true. I don't know. It has to be like really specific period pieces. Like I don't, as a genre, I don't seek them out. But like I like Amadeus, that's a period piece. And I don't know, it's probably like one or two more, but there's not a lot. So that's kind of usually a turn off for me. In this case, because of the time period it was made in and the late 60s, early 70s being such a Renaissance revival fashion wise, I thought that the costumes were intriguing. I really enjoyed seeing all of the different linens and stuff that they use and the way they did pay attention to some detail. The scene dressing, set dressing, all of that was that kept my eye, because for that time period, for the 60s, to be taking, in my opinion, what seemed to be a decent amount of attention to detail and historical accuracy as far as they could go, like, as far as like the dogs kind of just live in this, like that's how dogs, like they lived in the bottom floor of the castle and they kind of had their own big area and they were giant dogs. Like I thought that was kind of cool. Just little nods here and there to what life was really like then, with the little finger bowl at dinner and like stuff like that. So that kind of held my interest. I like looking for stuff like that in movies. And then I do have to say though, I thought about this halfway through. If Katharine Hepburn's not in this movie, it is not holding my attention. Like the acting's great. Ooh. Anthony Hopkins was great. Timothy Dalton's great, but he's not in it enough to keep me like, he's only in it a small amount of time. Peter O'Toole's fine, but he's very, again, of the time, and the actors of that time are not necessarily my favorite type of acting. So if Katharine Hepburn's not in this, I don't know that it's holding my attention for all 2 hours and 15 minutes of it. But that she is, and that I am. So
yeah, I think I take for granted how good she is in this movie just because of how well suited she is to the character, seemingly. Like I really only know this role through her and the little bit I saw of Glenn Close. But yeah, I feel like without her, like it's just an okay movie. And I even realized like my second or third time watching it over these past 2 or 3 days that I wasn't paying attention to Henry at all during any of the viewings. Like for me, it's all about Eleanor. And Eleanor is the one who's holding my attention, and everyone else is important in their respective roles. But yeah, if Glenn Close can't hold my attention, I feel like there are very few people who can.
Oh yeah, that's true. I also think it's just a difficult role. Like Eleanor is, like she is so strategic and politically minded that, and it's written in her dialogue that like if you can't rise above it as an actor, I can see somebody not being as captivating as Katharine Hepburn. Like she seems very, like she's such a skilled actor. It's Katharine Hepburn. Like,
but not just that. Like it is again one of those characters where if she goes too far and we don't like her and we wish ill of her, this doesn't work. We have to give a hoot. Like we can't be like, why don't they just kill her? Like what?
Well, exactly.
You can't think that. And so like Lisa pointed out, like not only is she rising above what is given to her and making it interesting, but she's also not making us dislike the character either.
Yeah. And
Even
what
in
I
those really in those moments when like she is being really nasty
Yeah.
to her sons, to Alice, to Henry, like there's still like a sense of, oh, there's a strategy behind why she's doing this.
Mhm.
And sometimes, like as a viewer, I was like, I don't know when she is playing the strategy or she is just like genuinely feeling how she's feeling in this moment.
Yeah, like you never
Yeah.
know when she's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that I find so fascinating about her performance, and what I think would be really challenging about tackling this text as an actor is if I were to read just the script, I'm fairly certain for some of the roles, mostly Eleanor and Jeffrey, it would take a couple readings for me to start to decipher like what is truthful and what's strategic and what do they actually feel versus what are they saying as part of a move to manipulate or affect somebody else. And I do think like the text gives enough clues by the end to kind of let you piece it together. But just watching her and the guy who plays Jeffrey as well, with how quickly they move through the actions, it's so good. It's such good acting from both of them, but mostly her.
Yeah. I would definitely distinguish between like Jeffrey and Eleanor. Like they have similarities in terms of like their like political ambitions and you know maybe their like strategy. But I would say personally, I read Jeffrey as more or less consistently honest with, like, it was much easier for me, or I felt more comfortable kind of saying most of the time when Jeffrey was speaking, because he has very few or relatively few scenes, right, and piece of dialogue, and mostly when he's speaking, it's mostly with Eleanor or to Henry, and pretty much in those instances, it seems like he's, in my opinion, he's mostly just being honest and just saying outright, like, what do you want? Here's what I want. How can we do this? Whatever. And then the manipulation is more so when he's talking with John or with Philip or whatever.
Philip. Yeah.
Whereas with Eleanor, it's like, you know, exactly what you guys had said. Like it can be very difficult throughout almost the entirety of everything she says to try to like parse out like, is this an actual like genuine expression of something she's experiencing, or is this still politically strategically minded?
No, and actually that's why I appreciate, going back to what I said, I appreciate the cutaway shots and just the close-ups that let us read like intimate personal moments on their faces, because that was really big for me in piecing together what her actual motives might have been, because I very rarely doubted that she loved Henry, and I feel like by the end of it, as messed up as that relationship is, I feel like she does love him in some weird way that she does. Maybe she doesn't even. Yeah, and
it's Virginia Woolf.
Yeah, it is. It's Virginia Woolf.
Yeah. I think it was honorable mention on regarding the question you kind of originally asked for this segment, which was the
the adaptation.
Yeah, the adaptation, how the film like setting and how it being a film kind of maybe would have enhanced it. I think a lot of the scenery shots, a lot of the cinematography was absolutely beautiful. I think a lot of the set design was great. I think we touched a little bit on that with set design elements, but like, I think a lot of scenery, and it was they did a good job building the medieval world.
They did. Oh, I have a follow-up thing I want to comment on that, but I want to go into the comments first. First off, legal to marry your cousin in Canada. Cool.
Is it?
Apparently.
I think mostly, I wouldn't think it's first cousins, probably second or higher.
We should watch August Osage County one day. Oh, spoiler alert.
God.
Is that cousins?
You think it is.
It's so problematic.
And so much to discuss. Yoda listened to the play, loved it. No, you need to watch the movie though, Yoda. Movie's so good. And she will say, I made it up a couple of times. You counted the days. And Beckett line. Yes. Oh, yes, you've been counting the days. No, I made them up. So good. So to bring it back to the setting and the set design and the costumes, one thing that I was running through my brain, thinking to the fact that, like, yes, it is a play, and thinking to, well, if I were to ever try to mount a production of this play, are period costumes feasible? Which then made me think, is this one of those period pieces that could, like Shakespeare tends to do this a lot, be translated into any other time period? Like, do you think a production could successfully be staged where it's like the 1960s and they're in suits?
You have to have a reason that Eleanor's character is not there and cannot be there regularly. but would very much want to be there at that time. Like Christmas is still a good reason, but like what is a good reason when we're not putting people in castles and dungeons and like what is something other than her being like, maybe mom's in prison and she's coming home for Christmas, but then that turns into like a comedy. That's not quite this.
But like that actually happens, right? Like historically,
it could be mom regularly goes to prison. She just got out of a 10-year stint and here she comes home for Christmas, you know, like that's one thing. But I thought about that too. I was like, could you make, because I thought that same thing. I'm like, but then I think that's the only flaw. Well, that and the marrying off of a woman to your son. I think there's a few things that
arranged marriages are still a pretty modern thing. But I mean, depending on the culture. But yeah, I think I agree. In principle, I think that there's like it'd be somewhat inconvenient to try to translate everything to modernize it. But there is like potentially, because there are, I mean, maybe even like something like in the 60s or whatever, like there are, and even modern, like there are political arrangements that could be somewhat analogous to like what they have going on there. 1-to-1, that's, you know.
Yeah, I don't think you can do the marrying off of the young woman that the dad has, and
I see that.
Oh yeah, that.
And like everybody accepting a consort and you have a wife. Like, do we all of us now we're in like, you know, Mormonism and like we're not like general. Sorry, I'm talking about like the actual like the crazy stuff that they write documentaries on Netflix about, that sort of thing. You know, you have to mix too many elements to make it.
Who knows? You know, like you could if you set it amongst like a hyper powerful, like highly political powerful family, that's when it's like the
I picture either the first family or the current royals, like the
like you can get into like conspiracy kind of land where it's like, at that level, like the things they decide to do and the power they have over human beings, it's like we don't, you know, you can play around with it in a pseudo believable way, and it's like I don't know, you know, or make them vampires or something. I don't know, but
I don't know. I found it really. I don't know. I think you can modernize it in a way.
Yeah. There's a way.
The imprisonment with Eleanor is a little strange, yes, but you could like kind of make it into a kind of thing where she's been like exiled or she's just like moved away for the time being. I don't know.
Yeah, they're separated in some way. Or
the thing that like really doesn't make it adaptable into a modern story is, am I the only one that knows this? Because I feel like this has been like weighing on me since I watched the movie. Alice,
yeah,
she is Eleanor's daughter from King Louis, and so Alice is.
I thought she adopted her.
Eleanor says in the movie, has a line that I raised you without bearing you or something like that. Like she says something.
She didn't
I'm not saying you're wrong,
but she did raise her.
But I'm saying there is a line. So either historically it's not the same. So it's when it's the scene where Eleanor and Henry are
see each other and she's like, hug me like you used to or something.
It's the scene. I think it's the scene where right after Alice speaks to Henry.
She first gets there and she's like, you know, like telling her she's excited to see her, and she's like, no, you're not. You've never treated me nice. And she's like, I didn't give birth to you, but I raised you.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Either way, she was like a mother.
Oh, she was a mother.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she raised her.
But you got to think Eleanor knew and had been operating this way for years. So even when she had adopted this daughter, she knew like this will be a girl I will have to give to someone for me. Like she's known that that's her purpose.
Yeah, but I guess what Lisa you're speaking to is the fact that like Eleanor's husband,
like
is banging her daughter.
That she's promised, like Alice is promised to one of
the
sons.
It's like her daughter marrying her son.
The problem is that she is like Henry's mistress, but then also Eleanor has slept with Henry's father. Like it is. I know she's
allegedly
lying, but historically, it is true that she had relations with Jeffrey. Anyway, it's just like so messy that I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's a level of messiness where I'm like, this is too much. Like I can't.
I think that's modern. I think there are people who are just as messy nowadays. I think there are
Maybe
people-
not in the incestuous realm.
No, I think it still happens. And
I
I
can't.
mean, statistically, one person's got to be going around doing the do. But anyway,
I think I would need to separate Alice from being like Alice and
Mhm.
Philip being so closely related to Eleanor. Like I need them to be part of like a different kingdom where Eleanor had no familial ties with. Because
gotcha.
yeah, it's just too
Well,
much.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can
See.
have both. You can't have
The dowry
the
back,
Yeah,
sleeping with the
we know
dad
about
being
that.
married off to the sons in this one, and have the wife being exiled, and have like you got to pick one problematic issue to conquer in this modern retelling. I don't think you can have like 3 or 5 of them.
I
Yeah.
think we all agree the medieval setting is great for this
yeah,
story.
medieval setting needs
Yeah,
to.
like, they had nothing else to
I
do
think
in
your
11
time period.
Yeah.
I think your time
11
period you have until like the 1600. I'd say I would accept this up. You could, you know what? You could
Up to the
modernize it by 500 years. 500 whole years in the future. I would still believe this.
yeah, in 1583.
Wait,
Or
your parents
1683.
wouldn't have paid a dowry, Vince. What are you talking? My parents paid a dowry.
She's like, where
Dowries
is it?
work? How do dowries work?
Dowries, I think
I think
traditionally
dowry-
dowries were for
A dowry
from
is
the
a
woman's
big-
family.
It's a big bunch of money and or livestock
Yeah.
and or land,
Or
that
land.
comes with
From, like, the
marrying a
woman's
woman.
family?
Yes.
Yeah, like
Usually,
the-
I think traditionally it's from the woman's family, but it
Because
doesn't
women
have to
couldn't
be.
carry any power with their name, so they had
Yeah.
to come with monetary goods.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
sell off your daughter to get
Yeah,
married.
and if you were like not as well to do, you had a dowry chest, which basically held whatever it was you were giving, which was the money or the deeds or whatever.
Yeah.
They gave
Yeah.
they're giving they have a dowry on you,
On
Vince.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
They
They
saying that
gave
in
it
this
to
case,
him to come
Sorry.
marry you.
his family provided a
Yeah.
dowry.
The
Yes.
gender roles of
Have been
medieval
yeah.
times were so ingrained in my head. Right
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
This is us just taking step by step away from the medieval times so that we can do
Yeah.
our modern retelling of Lion and Winter.
Yeah.
So let's deviate from the path to go to the central question once more of this marathon. Is Lion and Winter a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Thank you.
No.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
not
They
at
do
all.
say Merry Christmas.
A lot.
But no. And there is something
What?
interesting
I don't know about a lot.
I want to give the floor to Lisa because I can tell that she has a compelling
Of course you
argument.
want to give the floor to Lisa.
Of course I do.
Listen, this is like the epitome of like family coming together at Christmas
Amen.
and
What?
having a blowout argument. Somebody comes out, somebody is outed. Like this is like an amazing Christmas put together. And I'm here for it. I am
Yes.
here for it.
So family drama, siblings outing each other to mom. Well, technically the stranger outed, but still the siblings would have done it either way. Jeffrey was going to do it. Yeah. Plus also we got a predecessor to the Emma Thompson crying moment in Love Actually in this movie when she's like listening to Richard profess his love. Like they might as well be playing both sides now.
But
While she's crying.
She asks for it. She's like, I want to see you kiss her. Like,
Oh yeah, no. And then they tweaked it for Love Actually with Emma
Yeah,
Thompson.
what was that weird? Like, I don't know if that's a curse word. I'm
I
not
think
gonna say that
Eleanor
word, but
is-
I mean, like,
It was a
what that
power
weird
move.
moment?
It was a power move.
Yeah.
Plus,
Eleanor-
also,
No.
Eleanor has a speech about why can't there be peace? Why can't we be good to each other? Which is a very Christmas time sentiment. I think
she's
peace on earth.
polyamorous. She's
Yeah.
okay with Alice and Henry, but she also
Well,
wants Henry.
yeah, because she's not blind. And
Yes.
I mean,
Well, she's not okay. She was clearly distraught, and then she
She
was
doesn't
rant.
mind him sharing his bed with her. But
Yeah,
when he's like,
she minds
no, I'm
him
gonna do
protesting
the
his
one.
love.
Well, I think
Yeah,
the
no,
thing is
not
that she
even
wants
that. It was
confirmation
when
for
he was
herself
gonna
about.
leave
She
her.
wants to know if he
Yeah,
actually
but
loves
even
her
in-
or if he wants her for the kids and for like political reasons, because I feel that Eleanor is legit in love with him, and that is just a part of her trying to get confirmation for herself to like read it to see, does he actually love her, or does he just like want her for other reasons?
That's not but I agree with that, except for the word just. It's not just. It's not. She's in the scene. She states that she has an intellectual curiosity or whatever.
Yes.
But she clearly is not unaffected by it. So I think it's complicated and layered. I think yes, she has, for the most part, she's she's fine with the situation as it is. And I agree with you, Jeanette, that like for the most part, like it comes down to her only when she legitimately believes that he might actually leave her and that she might actually lose kind of all tangible connection to him is she truly distraught, but she's not unaffected by the circumstances.
So I would say that this is not a Christmas movie. It is a movie that takes place at Christmas time, but it's
at one point.
movie.
Like, the whole point. It's
tree.
Christmas court.
There's a tree in the side background of one scene. There's no snow.
Yeah, there's no snow really.
Cold. They keep talking about how cold it is.
You can have snow. You can have a no snow Christmas.
Of course you can.
Yeah, but what kind of a Christmas is that? What kind of a Christmas movie is that? Yeah. That's a terrible Christmas movie.
Not only is there no snow, there's a beach scene.
Also, at this point in time, Christmas might have been like in the summer. When did they switch Christmas?
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Crusades. So like there was a lot of like upheaval about like when things were being like starting to celebrate. Yeah. So this could have been a summertime.
This could have been a summer Christmas.
Fine. Because... So then that points to what I'm saying.
It
is
not relevant to us.
Christmas movie. And also,
are you saying in Australia when they celebrate Christmas in December that it's their summer and it's not Christmas?
Are we talking about this in Australia? Are you in Australia? Am I in Australia?
Do we have an Australian Christmas movie that we would agree is a great Christmas movie?
And nobody in this movie was Australian, so no.
I bet you the Australian Christmas movies have snow.
Yeah. Also,
I bet you Australians watch snowy Christmas.
They show us presents. They show us presents. Nobody ever opens the presents. Nobody goes back to the presents. The presents never make another appearance.
They do. I think there's two appearances.
There's no Christmas food. There's no.
Because they're busy.
There's spiced wine. There's spiced wine. Hold on now.
Mulled wine and spiced wine is very Christmas.
Sitting by a fire. Spicing wine and caroling. I would say of this whole movie, that 30 seconds was the most Christmas
it was the epitome of Christmas.
And Christmas played no role in the plot. Christmas was not.
I mean, it played an incidental
Christmas
role.
brings them together. It's Christmas court.
An incidental role.
Also,
but they're going to come back for Easter.
Christmas feast, and then the Christmas feast is like all of 15 seconds of this damn film, and I was like, I want a Christmas feast, and just them washing their fingers and drinking some wine. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
I so disagree with everything.
I agree with you, Jeanette.
I'm pro Christmas. Oh, see, this is if only we had a fifth person to break the tie.
No.
What's everybody in the chat saying? Hold on.
Well, Yoda for Mark is pointing out something that was kind of.
There was no Christmas press.
There was a Christmas tree in the freaking house. Did you not see it?
Yeah.
No, I think he means in 1183 they probably didn't have Christmas trees yet as part of
as a tradition.
But in the movie there was one in the castle.
Oh yeah, there was. There was, and that kind of bothered me, but I chose to consciously ignore it in the effort.
I was wondering that too, because I thought that happened in 1200 or sometime around them. This would have been right before it, so maybe they had some cool pagans outside, and they were like, "Hey, that's awesome."
Maybe. They started Christmas. That's why this is a Christmas movie. That's it.
I don't know, but nobody ever talks about the Christmas tree. Nobody points at the Christmas tree. Nobody sits by the Christmas tree.
Too much drama happening for them to. Like,
I mean, how many more traditional Christmas movies acknowledge the tree though? Not many. Like Christmas Vacation, the tree is very important. Never mind.
Yeah, a lot of Christmas movies.
No, Christmas Carol, they never mentioned the tree.
Christmas Carol, I've seen that.
Yeah,
Christmas with the Cranks does, and that's what matters. So.
That's actually one of the lowest rated movies on Rotten Tomatoes.
I love that movie. So
I saw that movie.
What? Maybe take what I gotta say about Christmas movies with a grain of salt, because I watch that movie every year.
Yoda, come in with evidence to support the stance that I want.
Yeah, there are
He did say
references.
we open presents at noon.
Yeah.
But then do we see them open any presents?
Yes, and Peter
No,
O'Toole
he
also says,
shakes
"What shall
it.
we hang? The holly or each other? Like hang the holly." It's a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, there are
Or
lots
each
of
other.
references. The essence
Yeah.
of the movie has nothing to do with Christmas. Christmas is incidental
Yeah.
to the narrative of the
The
movie.
reason why they're all there together is because it's
Yeah.
Christmas.
It's
Sure, like-
incidental. They
No,
talk
but
about
like
coming
this
together
couldn't
for
happen.
Easter.
It couldn't
could've-
happen during. It could not.
Yes, it
happen during
could.
Easter. No.
Actually,
Why
it's
couldn't
going
it?
to happen during Easter.
That's
She
the-
says it at
yes,
the end
she
of the
does.
movie.
Well, she says they're going to come back at Easter. We don't know if it's going to
Yes.
happen again.
And the whole thing's going to happen again.
Oh.
Was there a sequel? Was there a Chicken in
No.
Spring?
Well, there was a remake. but-
In spring. Wait, hold on.
Alice is the chicken in
called,
spring.
Why was it called Lion in Winter?
Yeah, let's talk
Because
about that.
the Lion. Well, that's
Sure.
Richard, though.
Yeah,
it
Lionhearted is
Lionhearted?
Richard, but he wasn't very
Yeah.
lionhearted in this movie.
No, I know.
So who's the lion? We're in
think-
winter.
I think
yeah,
Henry's the
we're in
lion.
winter.
Is
Henry
the
would make
lion?
sense. Henry is the most prominent. Well, is Henry the lion?
Oh,
Is-
he says
is
we're. She
Helena
says at the
lioness?
end we're jungle creatures, which
She
of course
does.
modernly we know lions are not jungle creatures, but they didn't know that.
No,
So-
in the '60s they knew. Oh, but
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
guess-
saying.
right.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
they whatever.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe
why
that's
is,
why.
Why is it the lion in winter?
Well, I
Well-
think probably, or maybe not probably, but one idea just came to my head is that there is this like tension between like a lion in winter. There is one of the ideas that it evokes is a lion doesn't belong in a winter setting, right? The natural environment that a lion exists in wouldn't like snow and cold. That's not what lions deal with in their natural habitat. And in this movie, there is something to be said about whether it's like Henry or / Richard, but even Henry, I think he has a few comments to the effect of like, and if not comments, like there's something to be said about like what he's good at and what he like takes most joy in life is like he has that one line where he's like, I'd be better off. It's paraphrased. I'd be better off like without women, right? And he's like, I would have been able to conquer all of Europe if I had no women in my life. So there's something there where it's like where he naturally belongs or feels or is drawn to doesn't match with his current environment. So maybe there's something there where Lion in Winter.
Yeah, I'm also thinking, well, this probably isn't how lions operate. I'm thinking, do lions hibernate in the winter? And then is that a comment on if the lion is sleeping, then they're going to take his kingdom from him?
No, they already.
They don't hibernate.
That's.
They don't
wrote
hibernate,
The
do
Lion
they?
King. Lion sleeps
Let's
tonight.
look it up. Let's
Yeah.
Yeah,
do
this
it.
lion sleeps tonight.
No,
Yes.
lions do not hibernate. They sleep for 18 hours a day, but they do not hibernate.
Yeah, there's
Well-
no snow in sub-Saharan Africa. So
Let's see.
Okay, this is what Google says.
Okay, what
The
does Google say?
The title of the play combines the image of the British royal lion with the winter of old age and adversity, and the cold drafts of a medieval castle in December.
So it's just
So
like
it's
there's
a time of life.
so it's
Written in-
England in winter.
yeah, England in winter.
England,
Well, that, but they're also
And
talking
then
the winter of his life.
Mm.
which
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
About that he's
This is
going to die.
the end of his life. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
So we
There's-
are completely split on this one then.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Is
we
this our
are.
first one that we're completely split on? I think so.
Which was
I think
shocking. I
Um,
didn't think it was going to be this way. I didn't think I would lean towards it being.
I thought
legitimate.
I'd be the only one preaching Christmas, so I'm happy that there's at least a 50-50 split. No,
I would
think
say it's a holiday. It's a winter
Yeah.
movie. I'll go say that. It's a winter
Okay.
movie for sure. I do
Yeah.
not want to watch this in June at
No.
all.
right,
It's not a
no,
June.
no, it's not a June movie. Well, I had a talking point. Oh, well, we kind of touched on it. I mean, maybe it could take place at Easter, but it is implied that she's going to come back. It's all going to happen again. And really, the movie ends with nothing changed. Like, we end exactly where we start for the most part, politically.
Wait, what?
Yeah, nothing's different.
Nothing's
No, that's
different.
not true.
What is
Nothing's
different?
Oh, I
They
guess-
let the,
She's
yeah,
going back to
everybody
prison.
Had their little explosion and
There's no heir.
yeah.
Well,
No
yeah,
one's married.
yeah. I guess from
And they
like,
go
a
off having
concrete
that same
perspective.
banter they had coming in.
Sure, from a concrete perspective. I mean, I would argue that like it's the same. It's kind of like the same argument of like Virginia Woolf and its ending. But I would argue that that the same way because so like with Virginia, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? There's this sort of like, at least from my perspective, there's the question of like, is this just what they do all the time, or are we seeing a notable moment in their life?
But the last dialogue exchange between George and Martha implies that he's making the executive decision that they're done playing the games. He's like, whereas this, the implication is they haven't really learned anything. She's going to come back, and some version of this will continue to happen.
Yeah, it seems like it's happened before because they keep talking about how like she schemes like this all the time, and you know, like the last time they did it was
I'll get you next time. I'll beat you this time or whatever.
It seems like they do this when they get together.
And isn't that what Christmas is all about?
Amen.
Anyway.
Yeah, just real warm and fuzzy. Real warm and fuzzy.
Real warm and fuzzy. Yeah. So what was everybody's, if you can remember it, favorite line and or moment? Alex.
Yeah, I wrote this down.
I wrote my line down too. So my favorite line was I mean, maybe not moment. My favorite line was, of course he has a knife. Everyone has a knife. It's 1183 and we're all barbarians. That's what Queen Eleanor yells out when she's in like the room with her three sons with her three sons, and like Richard's talking to John, and like John is saying something like, I like, because
he's like, it's very easy. Just say I lose, John wins.
And he's like, what if I like, what if John dies? And John dies. He pulls out a knife and he chases him, and he's like, he's got a knife, and then Eleanor just like snaps. Yeah, of course he's got a knife. Everybody's got a knife. It's 1183, and we're all barbarians.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
And then she goes, and then she elaborates. It's not the end of like she has like a bit of like a little monologue there.
Oh, yeah, then she gives her Christmas speech about how there should be peace on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but maybe
it happens. Lisa, what's your favorite line?
It's when she's it's the scene where she's taunting him about sleeping with his father, and he like runs out the first time, and she says, I could peel you like a pear and God would call it justice. Oh, I can't wait to use that in a fight with him. Hold on to that one.
That is that is an intense line.
Pear.
There's some imagery there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Jeanette, favorite line or moment?
So mine is close to the beginning when she first gets there, and the sons are kind of like, why should we be excited to see you? And she's talking to them, and she's like explaining how why they should care and why she cares. And at the end of one part, she goes, she's explaining, she goes, telling him about Henry, and she goes, we might never have known each other. Such is the role of sex in history.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
She explains why they know each other at all and why she is their mother now, even though some of them came from other fathers and stuff. Yeah. It kind of introduces you to her attitude in general for like the remainder of the film.
She's amazing.
Who, Eleanor or Catherine, or both? The same.
Both.
Yeah. One. I mean, I personally love the I know line, which is very Friends adjacent, but better.
What is it?
Well, in Friends is like, they don't know that we know they know we know they know.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas in this, it's Jeffrey. When Eleanor is like, Richard will never be married. And then Jeffrey's like, I know. You know I know. I know, you know.
You know I know.
We know Henry knows, and Henry knows we know it. We're a knowledgeable family.
Yeah. That is.
Which is, again, why I'm convinced that if Philip didn't out Richard, Jeffrey was going to do it. So there it is. Who was everyone's favorite character and or performance outside of Katharine Hepburn? Because like we've talked about her enough.
That's the obvious, right?
That's the obvious. We've already we could talk more about Katharine Hepburn and what made her so good, but let's give some love to the supporting cast.
Yeah. I don't necessarily pick her as my favorite.
No, who do you pick as your favorite?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Mine is still Jeffrey, both the character and like this specific performer. I think the subtlety is so good, especially compared to how obnoxious John is. And I really enjoy the performance of John. It took me a long time to separate how annoying I find him as a character versus how good I think the actor is at being that petulant. But yeah, no, the Jeffrey, I think on paper and in performance is he's my favorite character. I love Jeffrey. That's my stanza. Justice for Jeffrey. Also, Jeffrey should have been king. That's my follow-up question. Who do we think should actually be ruler? But we'll get there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean, I probably enjoyed, like, from a pure entertainment perspective, I enjoyed Peter O'Toole's performance the most.
Mhm.
I think just how like the amount of like yelling he does throughout the entire film, and his like crazy facial expressions from the beginning of the movie, which with that like jarring editing with him like sparring against John, where like the way they
Right.
cut between the scenes
That
and reuse
weird.
certain
That's like
things.
late
He's like-
60s, early
he's like-
70s stuff, man.
He has this like wide-eyed like grin that he kind of goes back to, and his expression throughout the entire movie, he has this like wide-eyed, like his mouth is open, his tongue is doing something weird, his mouth always looks like moist and wet. He's like,
I hope so.
as sure,
Yeah,
but
it's true.
it seems notably moist and wet, not
Moist
healthily
and
moist
wet?
and
That would be less appealing.
I mean, if he just had his mouth closed, I think I wouldn't have commented on it. But he's usually has his mouth open, and not in like not for an obvious reason, save to reveal his moist and wet inside.
Stop saying
But-
moist and wet.
Well, I can't say much else on this PG show, so. But yeah, I think like he probably was. I was most entertained by Peter O'Toole. I like Jeffrey. And of course, Hepburn's like the character is like it's one of those things too. Like on the one hand, I agree that it's not the easiest role to play, but on the other hand, there is so much like fun and meat in that character that like, you know, there is something to be said about like how much I like Katharine Hepburn versus how much I just like Eleanor, kind of regardless of the actress. Again, not to detract from the previous conversation, which I pretty much agree that like it does take a notable talent to pull it off to the level that Katharine did. But I digress.
Yeah. Lisa, Jeanette?
So it's very hard for me to not say that Timothy Dalton was my favorite, but I can't say that he wasn't on screen enough. I would probably say Peter O'Toole as well is my favorite performance, but yeah, I think my favorite character is Philip, like other than Eleanor, because you don't necessarily know what side he's playing the whole time until that final scene with him. And Timothy Dalton, I've liked Timothy Dalton since I was a young child. Like, I think he's a great actor, and I think he's attractive. I think, he's a cool guy. Yeah, I don't know. That's my favorite. Like, that's the character I would go to next liking wise. But Peter O'Toole's performances kept me entranced for sure.
That's nice. Lisa?
I really can't choose Eleanor.
No. Because we already know that we all love Eleanor.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I would say either like the dog that appears behind Henry when he runs down the steps in his like tantrum near the end.
I lost my boys.
Yeah. Or like Alice's breasts at the beginning of
I was just
Like-
about to say, I'm shocked that the cleavage did not make any of.
Wait, Alice,
like, and when they're picnicking and like he's finishing
At
doing
the
the
very
fight,
beginning, I was like,
and she's like just singing in French.
I
like
thought
her
that was
breasts are
supposed-
just
yeah. that was
I only
supposed
caught
to
her
be
cleavage in the
the-
second half of the film.
No, it's like the first thing you see after clanking swords is just
The
like
first
the
thing I
screen. There's
saw.
like grapes and boobs.
and I also don't know like if it was like if her dress was historically accurate because
That's what I was thinking as soon as we saw her. I go, is this really going to be it? Is this the costuming in this movie? Am I going to have to put up with this the whole time?
and it's just her. It's just Alice. It's just the young
It's just Al.
just Alice.
Well, actually, no, I do. I also want to give a shout out to Alice, like the actor, because I think that's
Not
the more
just her.
thankless role. And not just
you
the
mean
boobs.
you mean the poor man's Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, the poor man. Oh, wow.
Ouch.
I
think-
could have swore for the first 15 minutes she was on screen. I was like, that is Carrie Fisher. I am
Really?
lying.
Oh my God.
I thought it was Carrie Fisher.
I mean,
She
I
doesn't
think
look
Carrie
like Carrie
would be
Fisher,
great.
does she?
Yeah, I don't
You
She
don't
has
think
like
so?
that generic
No.
1970s like Caucasian
Maybe. I don't
girl
know.
in a period.
Until
I
at
mean-
the end, they shoot her face on, and her cheeks are like weirdly shaped. But before that, earlier,
Yeah.
in the
Interesting.
I
I'd
thought-
have
I
to.
mean,
Yeah.
Okay, I guess like if I not the dog, not Alice. Boobs,
You can pick the rest of Alice. I think she's a great actor. No, no.
When actually,
No.
remember, okay, you know that scene where like they're trying to do the
Get her
marriage?
to marry, and then I think she's so
Yeah.
good in that scene.
I don't know. I was just like,
No?
I don't know. I don't know. Meh, meh, meh.
Yeah.
Okay, but to be real, I did like Anthony Hopkins. Like I
Yeah,
like
Anthony's great.
like yeah. And you know what? As a queer character, great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also feel for like a queer character written in the 60s. Well, granted, I don't know exactly how much queer content was coming out in the 60s, but it feels like it
This
aged
seemed
decently.
progressive.
Yeah, it feels
this
progressive for the
seemed
time.
like the way they handled this was tasteful. They weren't trying to make it like we were supposed to actually think like, well, what's wrong with that? They weren't using it like a lot of films at the time use it as shameful, or they use it as something like. I think in this, I felt more like they were making the point like, yeah, and like the king had a guy, and because Henry and the other guy were supposed to be together, the other king.
Yeah.
And then like so they just talked about it. It did seem like they were like, oh, if we let the people know this, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what's your
yeah.
policy?
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like it didn't become the focal point, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I feel like older films that would be like the whole.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
love to know what the media or what the critics said about that back then. I'd be very interested to see what the conversation was about it regarding that.
Trying to think as to whether or not this came out when the code was still in effect or if it had just been dissolved.
Hays Code?
Yeah.
I want to say it was dissolved. I think it was 64.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I could be wrong. I'm gonna see the Hays Code.
What's Hays Code?
Hays Code. I've told you about the Hays Code, Alex.
It's like a code.
You need to go back and watch the Public Enemy episode, please.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a code. It's like, you know, our rating system right now, like PG,
Yeah.
PG-13 R, like
Oh,
anything that's
52.
Oh, 52?
Oh, no. Here it is. Oh, 68. It ended in 68.
oh shit.
Oh,
When
then
this
that's why
movie
this
came
movie
out.
was allowed to get made.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like the code would apply to anything that was PG-13 and above. So you couldn't show like sex, you couldn't show queer romances or just queer content. I think there was like also
There were
certain,
insane
like murder, like
regulations.
violence. Like you
It
couldn't
says it started weakening in 54. So between 54 and 68, it was weakening, and they weren't really enforcing it as much. But 68, interestingly enough, was exactly when it ended.
That makes
Cool.
sense.
So it was a policy that just prevented films from showcasing certain content.
Well,
You couldn't have two people, a man and a woman, sleeping in the same bed, in a scene.
Yeah, no, the code is the reason that like almost every major Hollywood movie, not almost every major Hollywood movie made between like 35, I'm guessing, and 68 is rated G or PG right now.
34 to 68.
Yeah, essentially the church swept in when Hollywood, like when talking movies started, and they were like, these movies are too powerful of a tool and indecent. So they somehow exerted their power over the Hollywood studio system to say, like, we will make sure that people don't see your movies unless you abide by these rules. And the rules were, regulating like how relationships were portrayed. And then they were also like, there were also some pretty racist regulations, like interracial kisses weren't allowed to the point where even there's a movie, and I can't remember what it's called. There was a movie based on either a book or a play that took place in China with like an all Chinese cast of characters, and they cast all of them as like white Hollywood actors in yellowface, and they wanted to cast one actual like Chinese woman who was an actor in a role, except she couldn't play the lead's wife because even though both the characters are Chinese, they couldn't show a white man kissing a non-white woman, even if both characters were appropriate, because like that was considered indecent.
Yeah, even the white man that was not supposed to be a white person in the context of the film.
Yeah, and then like they offered her the villain character, and then she went on record saying, "You want me as the only person with Chinese blood in this film to play the one unredeemable character? I'm not doing it." And so she didn't. And like I can't remember her name, but good for her. The code is interesting.
Wild. There, like it also affected TV shows. So like I Love Lucy, when Lucille Ball was pregnant, like she was legitimately pregnant. She wanted to write an episode of like her giving birth to her child, and they were like, "Oh no, like women."
Well, they had to fight to even show her pregnant on television.
Yeah,
because you couldn't show a pregnant lady on TV.
Explain pregnancy on TV. So like the whole episode, when they actually wrote it, they had to be like, the bird came.
Yeah,
and
the stork came and dropped. Oh, look what the stork
Right.
dropped.
It was it's so archaic nowadays. But
It
like, I
did
can only
really,
imagine.
it did contribute though to like we wouldn't have horror the way it is now if it had continued to exist, but we wouldn't have had classic horror if it didn't, because Hitchcock couldn't show a bunch of stuff, so he did all the stuff he did, which ended up being what he does. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
show you, but you're
but like
terrified.
same with Casablanca is only the movie it is because they had to work around the code, as it were,
Yeah.
and they had to change
Yeah.
the ending, and inadvertently it made the movie better. I
And
have a video
also,
about it.
That's one of the sexiest movies, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
you barely see people like you do. I think they. I mean, obviously they show them kiss, but like
Mhm.
it's not like today. Like, but that's like one of the sexiest movies.
Yeah, because they made them amp up subtext to try to get their point
Yeah.
across.
Yeah.
And just kind of vibes and like the way they shot things and the way they said things, and you know,
Which is like, yeah, like a really good element to making something that could be more explicit interesting.
Mhm.
But I don't know, like it's still a censorship device that the government.
oh yeah, it's still
Oh, yeah.
impeding free speech. Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, this movie couldn't have been made if the code was in effect, or not the way that it was made.
No, not referencing all of the. I don't think you could have said that you had intimate relations with little boys.
Oh yeah, no, you
in a
couldn't.
movie.
You're right.
You couldn't be saying I
there
slept
you
with your
go.
father. Like the
Yes.
amount of
Yeah.
times she kept saying it. Like, yeah, no.
Such is the role of sex in history. Yes.
Such
I don't think you could say the word sex.
No,
Could
you
you?
couldn't say.
you
I
couldn't
don't
say
think so.
sodomy. You couldn't say sodomy.
Oh yeah, they said that, and he said, "Boys doing boys." He said that.
Mhm.
They were
Yeah.
like this stuff like that. I'd love to see an actor. Timothy Dalton said, blah, 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 blah. Like,
Yeah. Oh, we should do pre-code movies one day because those are fun.
Oh, so
Yeah.
good.
Didn't we
Pre-code.
do pre-code? Oh no, I guess never mind. Sorry.
We've done
well,
post-code.
Public Enemy and all, like, but that was because of Great Movie Ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of like the like Universal stretch that we did, but I guess
Oh,
it was
Universal
the
Monsters.
skin
yeah.
code.
That was around
Yeah.
the time the code started. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a whole dialogue exchange happening between Yoda and Vince. Hold on. Love in a world where carpenters get resurrected, anything is possible. Yoda, the carpenters are coming back. I love that band. I was worried one of them was dead. Jeanette, I'm from Canada. What is this?
Oh, come now. You have the best comedians anyone's ever heard of. You have more free speech right
Wait,
now.
what?
Streisand voted for herself. Interesting. hadn't
She
been
really
there.
did, even though she shouldn't have been in the Academy. Because she
Huh.
hasn't been in 3 released movies yet.
That's such a Streisand move, though. It feels like she was just like,
Does
why
it?
not? Yeah,
It feels
I've
right.
only ever heard good things about Barbara
One.
Streisand.
I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm saying that it's like an assertive move.
It sounds bad based on the sentence I just read. She
She's
cheated.
probably a Slytherin.
Yeah, that's
See,
well,
but
totally
it feels right that like she won in a tie with Katharine Hepburn. Like
Oh,
she
yeah.
didn't win it solely herself,
Mhm.
and like Katharine Hepburn didn't even show up to that Academy
Oh,
Award.
did she not?
No, it was just Streisand.
Was this her last one that she
Yeah.
won?
No,
so
did
let
she
it
win
sit
for
there.
Golden Pond?
Did she? I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like everyone did, so maybe she did.
Hmm.
Everyone did, yeah.
Or no,
Golden-
Fonda won. I know Fonda won because that
Which
was the big
Fonda?
deal. Well, both of them maybe. No, but that was Henry Fonda's.
Look Who's
like,
Coming
Oscar
for Dinner
movie.
didn't win anything.
Let
Guess
me
Who's
look
Coming
up
to Dinner?
Yeah.
Katharine Hepburn Award.
Either or. Tomato,
Yeah.
tomato.
What? Tomato Tamatoa. Yeah.
Tomato Tamatoa? What? Pardon?
I said what I said. I thought it was funny.
Movie discussion.
Yeah, movie discussion. So, out of all the options, to bring it back to the question I wanted to jump to, who would you pick to be king? Who should rule out of our options?
Who are just the three sons, I guess,
Eleanor.
or
Three
slash
sons.
is Henry still like an option? Like keep the crown to Henry.
I guess within the confines of what they were trying
Eleanor.
to do. Eleanor?
Eh,
Eleanor.
I don't
Eleanor's
think that's an option.
Eleanor and Alice
Yeah.
should run the kingdom.
There
I don't know about Alice.
in history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I'm still pro King Jeffrey. He worked the hardest for it.
I can't count.
I don't know if I'd
Has
say that.
everybody here
Yes, he
seen Get Him
did.
to the Greek when they're like, nobody's scared of a Jeffrey? Has anybody seen that movie?
No.
No.
I-
Is that referencing this movie? Nobody's
I
seen
think
it.
I've
No,
seen that
no,
movie.
but it's all I could think about
Because that's
Jeffrey
a
was
modern movie.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think about because Jeffrey was extremely unintimidating, and it made me think about it.
Marry our cousins.
Cousins.
Queen Lydia Tarr deserves the crown.
I don't know. I'd go with
Uh,
Richard. I think he seemed to make the most sense to me.
Yeah, Richard is like he is virtuous from what we can see, and he's honorable. Like, say for even that of the time, I guess there was
Well, and he was
nothing.
good at leading battles, which I think at the time is the most.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they do.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe there's something to question about his relationship with Philip, but I don't know because I we need to unpack that more or something, or I need more context.
That's honestly what makes me lose respect for Richard. It sounds like he took advantage of the kid when he was vulnerable and young, and I'm like, I don't want that guy for my king.
Yeah, I don't know because again, it's like
I
what
don't know.
Henry
We
said at
say
the
kid.
beginning.
He was 15, and back then that was considered a man.
Yeah, and it was only 2 years prior, and and like now that he's 17, he's like, I'm not the kid you knew 2 years ago. I'm a man now, and it's like,
it's not like he was
are
30
you?
something. He was like I think he's supposed to be 21 or 22 in this movie, so he would have been and he's
Yeah,
17,
he's a kid
so
too.
it's like a 4-year difference.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet lost.
I don't
Come
think
on.
it's cool, but I think amongst all the other ish that's happening in this film, that it might be one of the least reprehensible things.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Jeffrey did nothing reprehensible.
Well,
It
he's
would be
very
utterly
manipulative.
boring. I don't know.
And that's the thing. I want a boring ruler. Queen Elizabeth was so boring. She did nothing that we saw.
No, and Jeffrey did. He was manipulative, and he was also like encouraging everybody to kill Papa Henry. So at the end there, he was like, "We just take it and we run at him." That's what and like he was telling the mother, like either like you warn him and we die, or you don't do anything and he dies. Those are your only two options.
Yeah, he deals in absolutes.
Oh,
yeah, only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Speaking of Henrys, this just came in on my news alert. Henry Kissinger just died.
Oh no, who is that?
At 100 years old. Some famous
on your
military
news
guy, American.
Alert. Okay, I heard nude alert.
Like huge in the 50s.
All right. Henry Kissinger?
Oh yeah, I just got
dead at 100. Henry's. I was like, oh, Henry. I literally came up and I was like, my phone listening to me. What is this? And then I was
shaped world affairs under 2 American presidents.
Yeah, Secretary of State. Yeah.
I don't know. It popped up. I was like, hey, what's this?
He's notable. He's a name.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Anything else to discuss about this movie, or do we want to go to the game?
Who are you picking, Lisa? Who are you picking for king?
Yeah.
Alice's boobs.
The kingdom will prosper.
The kingdom will be at peace.
Honestly, I think Eleanor would be a really good king. Like, she's so strategically minded, and like again, knowing her history from my half-assed grade 10 history report, she like completely politically sounded. Like, she jumped from the Queen of France to the Queen of England, had a bunch of children, knew what she was doing. I don't know. She would be a great king.
And I'd be concerned that she'd be too aggressive and would like cause too many wars. That's
I mean, it was happening during the Crusades, so all those wars were going to happen anyway. So.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
What's next for Henry? Hell.
Okay. Hell. Okay, hold on. I have some other notes here.
Yeah.
Notes. Oh, I say jousting is the stupidest sport.
It is.
I don't think it's the stupidest.
Do we see jousting? Is that in the beginning?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. On the beach.
Yeah, it's right before Richard. For some reason. Oh yeah, that scene. Richard's like looking like he's gonna try to decapitate the dude at the like above the seam of the helmet. Like that's nonsensical.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I
Your sword's not going to cut through that.
There's a lot of
just aim an inch lower.
Injuries in this movie, like when they're stabbing the guy in the chainmail, and I can quite obviously see the knife poking inside and wiggling in the chainmail, and I'm like, okay.
There's
no blood.
Questionable corpse acting too.
Yeah, the kick.
The kick, the roll.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's my only note. We've talked about him.
Jousting is cool. Have you seen The Last Duel, Lisa?
I have not.
Oh my god!
With Matt Damon.
The Last Duel.
Don't start me on that right now because
okay.
I don't know, was it not you I had this discussion with?
I think we brought it up.
I love that movie. to no end. I will watch it again and again.
Yeah, it's great.
Literally, it is horribly rated. Every person that has seen it has told me it was awful.
No,
And it
yeah,
hurts
see
my
that
heart
is,
because I love it so much. I hope we do it on here.
I
Like,
like
yes,
it.
Okay.
I don't
kept
love it, but
thinking
I
of
like
The Last
it.
Duel the whole time,
Yeah.
but I stopped bringing up The Last Duel a few months ago because every time I bring it up, either nobody's heard of it or they hate it. So I stopped bringing
Is it
it up.
jousting? Is there a lot of jousting?
There's
There's
some
not a lot of
jousting.
jousting. There's jousting at
There's-
the end.
There's jousting and there's like really intense violence with the jousting.
Yeah, and
that's
there's
great.
cool,
Are there like
there's cool
duels
perspective
with like
stuff.
guns?
It's freaking Ridley Scott.
No, it's a medieval. The setting is medieval. It's like medieval times,
Yeah.
like this film, and
Yeah.
basically, yeah, it's a
But like
it's a
Ridley
cool
Scott
movie.
does it. Jousting, but Ridley Scott's directing it. Like
Yeah, and jousting's only like the last like 15 minutes of the movie.
So then we only
Not
have to
even.
watch the last 15 minutes for the jousting.
Yeah,
no,
if you
no,
want
no,
to
but you
watch
have to
jousting.
watch it. And I'll tell you,
The movie's
Lisa,
not about jousting.
Lisa, if you want a strong female character,
Yeah,
There's a
Please.
in
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Does she
Alright.
joust?
I like
no.
Is it like that
Yes.
movie?
Face.
Is it like
No,
that
I'm
movie A
joking.
Kid in King
Laura
Arthur's
Dern
Court
from
where
Jurassic
she dresses
Park
up
better,
in
but
the,
still.
the Black Knight armor and then she's the best jouster?
No, it's
but
not
you get to
Mulan.
see Adam Driver in like medieval clothes, and that's pretty awesome.
Adam Driver doesn't do it for me.
Then
All right,
then
well,
Matt Damon will do it for you.
No, no, no,
I love
the
that
haircut.
Yeah.
He's got,
I
he's
love
got
that
some,
movie.
Hey,
got the
he's
old English full cut.
he gets
and
it
it's
done.
really
All
hilarious.
right, he's got the
Okay.
skills
Oh my
that
God.
matter at the end.
Time for the
Now-
game. Here we go.
Okay.
So this is another fill in the blank. I'm going to give us a quote from this movie, and then write down the word or phrase that fills in the blank, and then you all everyone gets to go all at once. And yeah, and I encourage you. So you have an opportunity for 2 points.
Wait a minute,
No,
we just yell
3.
things out in this game?
No.
or
So this is
We
how it's
draw
gonna work.
them.
This is how no drawing.
Am I drawing?
So what's going to
No
happen
drawing.
is I'm going to show you a quote from the movie on the screen, and then there's either a word or a part of the phrase where I just wrote blank. You have to fill in the blank. So you can get 1 point if you correctly tell me which character said this line, a second point if you correctly fill in the blank, and I encourage you to perform the line, and I will give 1 point per round to whoever I felt gave the most memorable or accurate performance. A lot of these are Eleanor quotes, so it's really just a lot of Katharine Hepburn
So we okay.
impersonations.
Isn't
So,
one
yeah.
of the points guessing who said the quote?
Hmm?
So you
Yeah,
just-
yeah, that's part of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you correctly, well, they're not all Eleanor, they're just mostly
Okay.
Eleanor. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So when in doubt, pick Eleanor, I guess. There you go. So 1 point if you correctly guess the character, a second
Yeah.
point if you correctly finish the quote, and then one of you per round gets a point if you entertained me the most with
Okay.
your impersonation. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. The first one. So the royal corkscrew finds me blank.
Oh, I know this. I remember this.
So let me
Yeah.
know when we're all ready to go.
Okay.
Uh,
I think that's what it is.
I remember.
Why
I
does
think
my
it's that
word
scene. I think
always
it's. I remember
sound
this
like-
scene. I think it's the scene where we find out Richard's.
Okay, well
and Philip's
let's start with Alex. Alex,
thing.
which character do you think?
No,
it is?
I haven't.
No, we're starting with you. We're starting with you.
So the royal corkscrew. I don't know. I think it's Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. Okay, now give me the performance.
One ibble bibble. So the royal corkscrew finds me in my pants. Ibble dibble.
Okay. Very good, very good. Lisa?
I have no idea, so I just said untucked.
Okay. Let's
And
see.
I think it's Eleanor,
Okay.
and she would say it like this. Sorry, hold on. Sorry. Okay. So the royal corkscrew finds me untucked.
Okay, very good. Jeanette?
So I think that it's Henry
Okay.
and it's twisted.
That makes sense.
So
That makes sense.
The
That-
twisted part,
Yeah,
not
the-
Henry.
So the royal corkscrew finds me I'm about to say her thing. Finds me twisted.
Untucked.
Untucked, like RuPaul.
Yeah.
So it was twisted and it's a Richard quote.
Oh,
Ah,
It's after
Okay, that makes sense.
it's
Yeah.
after he's been outed and the dad says
Yeah.
something, and then he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, so the
Oh,
royal
that's
corkscrew finds me
so-
Yeah.
twisted."
Yeah.
that's
That's-
so gay
yeah.
in the best way.
yeah.
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 I'm giving the performance to Alex for his impeccable Iron Lady impersonation.
Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank
Here we go. Next, and Jeanette got
wait,
one
do I?
point as
I was
well.
gonna say,
for
do I get a
Twisted.
point for
You got
getting
a
it
point for
right?
Twisted.
Okay.
Here we go. My favorite line.
Ah,
Yeah, well, we already know.
You
Yeah,
know,
We
I
know this.
Oh, what's his name?
I know,
don't
you know, I
this
know, I
isn't
know, you
just
know.
one word though.
No, I want the rest of the rest
I know,
of the
you know,
sentence.
I know.
He-
We know. You know. Okay, yeah. We know. I think I know.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start with Jeanette this time.
So this is Jeffrey,
Okay.
and it's we know Henry knows. So it would be I know, you know, I know, you know, I know, and we know Henry knows.
All right, Lisa.
It's Joffrey, and I don't know
With his coffee.
with his coffee, with his herbal tea. And I don't remember how it ends, but we know he knows it. I don't know. So he would say it like, I know, you know, I know, you know, I know. We know he knows it.
All right, Alex.
So yeah, Jeffrey, and I know, you know, I know. We know Henry knows. We know Henry knows, and he knows we know it.
Ooh.
I believe.
That is pretty well the quote. It's we know Henry knows, and Henry knows we know it.
And Henry knows.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Went
yeah.
one further.
Yeah. Well, no, I gave it to you, Jeanette, because you got most of it right. And then Lisa, you get the acting point.
I didn't perform it.
Oh, you didn't? I thought that was
I didn't start it. I know.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see the performance.
That wasn't
See
your
if you can-
performance?
Well, now I feel like
No,
well, I didn't say
no.
the whole line.
See if
I
you
feel
can-
like it's
No, let's go.
You
The
just
air's
did
been-
say the whole line.
No,
You
I
did.
didn't. I said I started from I know,
Yes.
you know, I know. I didn't start from I know,
Okay,
you know,
well,
I know, you know, I know. We know Henry knows, and he knows. Although in this case, it's and Henry knows, we know it.
We know it.
I didn't say the whole line. I started from the
Okay.
middle of the line
You're
because
right.
I was concentrating on the blank.
Yeah. Cool.
I know. All right. I'm flustered now. Hold on. Give me a moment. Okay. I know. You know, I know. I know, you know, I know. We know Henry knows. And Henry knows we know it.
That's pretty good.
We're a knowledgeable family. And then the sly little grin, like
Well, I started with the grin,
that's true.
so it would have
Lisa
been.
still gets the acting point though. So
Hey.
That's understandable.
yeah. No, it was
I
good.
was flustered. There was,
Yeah.
the moment.
No,
was
of course,
passed,
of
you know,
course. No, it
I
was
was
a valid- it
cheated.
was a good
I was
effort. It was
cheated
a
of
good
the point. I was cheated of the point.
Yeah,
So
no, there'll be
makes
more
sense.
though. There'll be more. Here we go.
Whatever.
There'll be blank in the treetops come morning.
Oh, I know this one because it's also one of my favorite quotes now.
Mhm. That'll be.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with Alex. Because I know Lisa knows. So
And
You know,
Lisa
I know.
knows that you know that she knows. I don't know. There'll be there'll be snow in the treetops come morning.
and which character?
What's that? Can you mouth a little slower?
No,
I
don't
said
say
that
it.
would have made it a Christmas movie.
The character is Henry,
Okay, and
and the
impersonation.
performance. There'll be snow in the treetops come morning.
That for those who haven't worked with Alex in a theatrical setting, what we just saw was like
The
to me,
extent
the
of my
essence
acting ability.
That's the essence of Alex on stage. It's great. We love it.
When it works.
When it works. When it works. Yeah.
20% of the time, it works every time.
It was great in Midsummer when he was drugged. It was hilarious. Let me tell you. Yeah. Jeanette.
It is Eleanor, and it's pork.
All right.
There'll be pork in the treetops. Good morning.
Okay. Lisa.
Okay, it's pork. My phone's not working. It's pork. It's Eleanor talking to Henry, and I'll give you Henry's line. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay. When pigs have wings, there'll be pork in the treetops come morning. One woman show right there.
That's well. I mean, I already preemptively gave the acting point to Jeanette, but I have to give one to Lisa as well because she gave us 2 roles. So there we go. All right. Next. I'm the only pawn. I haven't got a thing to lose. That makes me blank.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what the blank is, though. I just know
I don't know what the blank is.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah.
That makes me a pair of boobs.
No, but it's the same thing that a pair of boobs makes you.
I wish I had like fake drag queen ones so I could make them talk right now. That would be perfect.
Oh, like a breastplate?
Yeah, just like make them talk like a puppet.
Imagine an entire production that's done very historically accurate, but this role is just played by puppet boobs.
I love it.
And no one questions it.
Puppet
It's like
butts and puppet boobs. That'd be hilarious.
No, it's just like it's like a Muppet movie. Like no one's acknowledging that this one character is puppets that are boobs. It just is the reality of the world.
Yeah.
I think that would be
is.
Yeah. Alex, you go.
So the character is Alice. The blank is dangerous, and the performance is. I'm the only pawn. I haven't got a thing to lose. That makes me dangerous.
Damn.
The bar has been set. Lisa?
Yeah, obviously.
It's Alice. I don't know what the blank is, so I just said that makes me a bottom. And so the performance would be I'm the only pawn. I haven't got anything to lose. That makes me a bottom.
You've got to be great at Mad Libs, man.
I just watch a lot of RuPaul.
Oh, God. Okay, Jeanette.
So it is Alice. It's dangerous. And I'm the only pawn. I haven't got a thing to lose. That makes me dangerous. Alex's is better.
I love your like damsel in distress voice, Jeanette.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So good.
Yeah.
I did give the point to Alex, but
Yeah.
Valiant performances. Is he actually gone? Oh, he's back. Okay, good.
No, he's
Nice.
Rocky
I'm never
now.
gone. Yeah.
All right.
He's always there.
Next. I'd hang you from the blank, but you'd shock the children.
I love this part. This is my favorite line, actually, when this was happening.
Thank you from the.
I love that they're not showing her drinking. Oh, I gave it away. Sorry. But yeah.
Oh, I remember. I forget if it's plural or singular, though. I feel like singular sounds better, but plural makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Hang you.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Hang you. Hang you.
Yes.
I'd hang you.
Let's start with Lisa.
I'd hang you from the monkey bars, but you'd shock the children. Eleanor.
Eleanor? Okay. Jeanette?
It's Eleanor. And I don't have a necklace around here. I was going to do it, but I'd hang you from the nipples, but you'd shock the children.
Oh, the nipples!
Alex?
It's Eleanor. The blank, I'll go with nipple. And I'll say, oh, I'd hang you from the nipple, But you chalk the children.
Okay, well, I'm fairly certain it was nipples, but I'll give it to you, Alex, as well. So some form
Thank
of
you.
nipple, yeah. And I think I gave the acting point to Lisa, but I've lost track. Points don't matter, but they kind of do when we get to the end. Anyway,
A little
here we
bit.
go. Moving on. My God, if I went up in flames, there's not a living soul who'd blank to put the fire out.
And this is a very specific,
I know.
specific one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
Am I? I'll say it after.
I don't
I don't forget the exact words used, but I remember the one word, I believe.
Yeah.
The main
Yeah.
word.
Let's start with Alex.
All right, so it's John,
Okay.
that runt, and the blank is, I guess, who'd piss on me to put the fire out. Unless I'm misremembering.
Okay.
And the performance. My God, if I went up in flames, there's not a living soul who'd piss on me to put the fire out.
Why do they always leave? Okay.
I know.
Lisa?
I have no idea what this blank is. My God, if I went up in flames, there's not a living soul who'd pray to put the fire out.
Okay. Who do we think it was?
I'm gonna say it's Richard, and Anthony Hopkins would say it like this: "My God, if I went up in flames," that sounds like Dick Van Dyke. I'm gonna go with it. My God, if I went up in flames, there's not a living soul who'd. What did I say?
Pray.
Pray to put the fire out. Oh no.
Deafener.
Nice. Jeanette?
So this is John, and it is pee on me.
Oh.
And my God, if I went up in flames, there's not a living soul who'd pee on me to put the fire out. And I thought it was interesting that they said pee and not piss, because piss sounds way more natural in that
Right?
time.
That's crazy. They said pee and not piss.
Yeah.
They
they
said
said
pee.
pee
I
and not
paused it
piss.
and I rewound it specifically because I was like, did that man just say pee?
I guess I just converted in my head.
Piss sounds
Yeah,
way more
piss
natural.
is way,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I'll concede.
I can't remember who I gave the acting point to, so good job, whoever it was. We'll find out at the end. Next. Of course he has a knife. He always has a knife. We all have knives. It's 1183 and we're blank.
I got this.
Let's start with Lisa.
And We're Barbarians by Eleanor. And she would say, "Of course he's got a knife. He always has a knife. We all have knives. It's 1183 and we're all barbarians."
So pleasant. I like it. That's like Julie Andrews as Eleanor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins is Eleanor. Oh, I'm here for it. Jeanette?
Mary Poppins of Aquitaine.
Is that
So yes, it's Eleanor, and it is all barbarians. Of course he has a knife. He always has a knife. We all have knives. It's 1183 and we're all barbarians. John Mulaney and Katharine Hepburn. I don't know.
A wild combo.
What a good combo, though. Oh my gosh.
Eh.
Alex?
All right. It's Eleanor. We're all barbarians. And the performance. Of course he has a knife. He always has. Is the line "he always has a knife"? It isn't a knife. It isn't. Everyone has a knife. I thought it was everyone has a knife.
This is
think
what
it is everyone
IMDb
has a
said.
I think it's everyone has it.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, this is the
All right,
internet
all right,
told me.
all right.
Okay,
Performance,
well, either
performance.
way, yeah.
Of course he has a knife. He always has a knife. We all have knives. It's 1183, and we're all barbarians.
Which is like accurate. Like I think people in 1183 were barbarians, and I know she's saying that she's like classy, but like from 2023, she seems like a barbarian.
Oh, she does. Yeah, and very self-aware. Like, good for her. She knows. Jeanette, for the Mulaney hybrid, you had to get that point for the acting. So well done. Okay, next. The human parts of you are missing. You're as dead as you are blank.
I know this is
I remember the scene. I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember it, but I just want to
Um,
say funny.
What were you, why? What was funny, Lisa? What did you think? What did you think?
It's my blank.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start with you.
Okay, I think it's Philip.
Okay.
And I think it's you're as dead as you are gay, which is and he would say the human parts of you are missing. You're as dead as you are gay. I don't know.
It just went from being subtext to being text. Okay.
Oh man.
Okay, Jeanette.
Oh.
I think that this is.
yeah, me too.
I think this is Richard. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide if it was
You
John
think it's
or
Richard?
Yeah, I
think it's Richard, and I really don't remember. I remember him saying this, and I can't remember the word. I'm gonna say cold.
That's
Okay.
what I was thinking.
So the human parts of you are missing. You're as dead as you are cold. I can't do Anthony Hopkins.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, good tonal
Yeah.
register. Yeah.
Yeah. Alex?
Yeah, even. Yeah, so I think it's when he's speaking to Eleanor. I think it's Richard speaking to Eleanor out on that, like on the outside of the castle or whatever. And yeah, the you are as dead as you are. Yeah, for lack of a better term, cold came to my mind as well. So I'll say cold is the blank, and the performance. The human parts of you are missing. You're as dead as you are cold.
That
It's not just
That was-
Anthony Hopkins. It's
literally
Hannibal Lecter.
literally.
I was thinking that was more like classic Katharine Hepburn, personally.
Oh my
A
god.
little bit.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah, but
Yeah, earlier.
well,
Hepburn.
Alex gets the performance point, so
Thank
well
you.
done. It was dead as you are deadly.
Oh,
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
I thought it was
Yes.
conniving for a second, and then I was like, no, it doesn't, isn't it?
No, dead as you are deadly. Next, final question in the regular round. Hush, dear mother's blank.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I think I know what it is.
Okay. Well, let's start. Oh, I was gonna say let's start with Alex, but let's start with Lisa.
Yeah, it's over Lisa.
She has a funny answer.
I think it's Eleanor, and I have no idea, but this is if she was like in Jagged Little Pill. Hush, dear mother. Hush, dear mother's on her Percocets.
Also has
More or
next to
less.
normal vibes.
More or less exactly what Jagged Little Pill is about.
It's true. Smiling. Good
You
song.
learn, we
You
learn,
learn. You learn. We
I
learn.
learn,
We
he
learn.
learns, she learns.
She
We
learn.
learn, you
We
learn. You learn, I learn, we learn. We learn,
I learn.
you learn, I learn.
I
Henry
We learn,
learns.
Henry
We learn,
learns.
Henry learns.
And Henry
Henry
learns.
learns.
We learned it.
Learn it. We're a very learned family.
Family.
What a crossover.
Jeanette?
It is fighting. This is Eleanor, and it's just hush, dear mother's fighting.
That was a very good
That was
Catherine
a good
Hepburn.
Catherine
That
Hepburn.
was.
Always Kate Blanchett, not Catherine.
Same thing.
Same thing. Same thing in my heart.
Alex?
Eleanor fighting and the performance. Hush, dear, mother's fighting.
Nice.
It sounded like Joan Crawford.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we have in the comments here? It says, I believe Hopkins went on record saying he was channeling his inner Kate. Really?
No.
I believe that. I don't know if
I
this is a
would
Vince
enjoy-
moment, but I would enjoy.
I would
believe
enjoy that fact. Yeah, I
Yes.
would like that. I'd like to just live with that
I
knowledge in my
ate
head
his
now, whether it's
liver.
true or
Headcanon.
not.
that. So discuss that while I tally the points.
Yeah. I don't think it's true. I think Vince is giving us a fantasy for our benefit. Which I mean,
Oh, well, that's
as you
cool.
said,
lie,
it's pretty
lie to
cool.
me a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you ever tune into that show, Lie to Me?
Oh, what's that?
Oh, on Netflix? With
I don't
Christina
think it was
Ricci?
no, this was like pre-Netflix, I thought, wasn't it? With the British guy.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Mental?
human lie detector.
It's not The Mentalist. It's
No,
another
no.
British guy.
Oh wait, was it a movie?
No. It was a television series, and it was all
Oh.
fiction. Like it wasn't like a reality TV or anything like that. It was starring. It's this. Do you remember I think it's the Eric Bana Hulk film, but with the Colonel who like who inject like the army guy who like wants to fight the Hulk, and then
John
he gets
Hurt. He just died recently, didn't he?
no, not John Hurt.
a
Lie to Me, American drama series starring this guy, Tim Roth.
Oh, that guy.
You know Tim Roth.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it was a series where he was a human lie detector. So he studied like micro expressions and stuff, and it's like a,
You can tell when.
Oh, and apparently during Westworld, he was channeling his inner Ethel Merman.
Oh my God! Stop.
I buy that. So the points are: Lisa has 13, Alex has 16, and Jeanette has 19. How many points would we like to wager?
All of them.
Yeah.
None of them.
None of them. Oh, I like this. Okay.
I think you have to wager to participate, don't you? Jeopardy, you have to wager at least
That's
$1.
true. That's true.
1 penny.
1 penny. Okay. Okay.
1/100th of a point.
So here we go. Once more, same rules as before.
Oh.
Wait, how do I want this to work with your wager? No, well, we all know who the character is. We will know. So
Okay.
whoever
Okay.
comes, I don't think anyone's going to get it exactly. Whoever comes the closest,
To the blank?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
and whoever doesn't will lose their wager. So here we go. What kind of spindly, ricket-ridden, milky, wizened, dim-eyed, blank line of things will you beget?
Oh, yes. I remember the moment. Ricket-ridden, milky, wizened,
Yeah.
dim-eyed.
Let's start with Lisa.
No, don't start with me. I'm still thinking.
Okay.
About. um.
Mate, I have no idea. I think I have.
Do we know? Is it just one more word? Or is
No,
it
it's a
phrase?
couple words.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hold on. How many?
Um.
It's 3 words. Well, 2 of them are a hyphenate. 2 of them are
okay, like dim-eyed.
Like dim-eyed or ricket-ridden. So hyphenate, and then adjective line of things. Get. Yeah.
Ridden, milky, wizened, dim-eyed.
Spindly, ricket-ridden, milky, wizened, dim-eyed.
Something hyphen.
Something.
Let's start with Jeanette.
I don't know. I'm gonna say the only word I got that I thought I remembered was scrawny, and then I threw in malnourished, which I don't think was a word that she used at all, but for some reason stood out in my head. So, what kind of spindly, ricket-ridden, milky, wizened, dim-eyed, scrawny, malnourished line of things will you beget?
All right, nice. Lisa,
I'm gonna go with Academy Award winning line of things you will beget. I don't know. I don't know. Eleanor, she would have said, "What kind of spindly, ricket-ridden, milky, wizened, dim-eyed, Academy Award winning line of?"
Okay, Alex.
Eleanor, and I have no idea. I think it was something in the realm of grotesque. So I'm going to say low-browed grotesque.
Okay.
I'll say the performance. What kind of spindly, rickety-ridden, milky, wizened, dim-eyed, low-browed, grotesque line of things will you beget, my love?
What we were looking for, gammy-handed, limpy line of things.
Gammy-handed, limpy line of things.
Will you beget? Yes.
Okay.
So Alex wins.
Alex wins. Well done, Alex.
I win double 1 penny.
Now, please
Which
give-
means Lisa, or Jeanette rather, is still in the lead. Oh no, she bet all
they
the
lost
points.
their points.
Yeah,
They
we
lost their
bet
points.
all of ours as usual.
Alex, please give your acceptance speech as Katharine Hepburn winning her 5th Oscar.
One ibble bibble. Calling number 2, dibble ibble. I'd like to thank the Academy and my family, and most of all, Alice's breasticles. Dibble ibble.
Okay, yes, thank you, Alex. Well, there we go, everyone. That's the Lion in Winter.
There it is.
Thoughts.
There it is. That's the Lion in Winter.
There we are. So yeah, let's just do a quick go around. Closing thoughts on the movie. I'll start. I love it, and I will continue to love it. I tragically realized that my DVD copy, which I had never opened, was corrupted and scratched. I know. And it was actually scratched so that it skipped over 2 of the most important scenes in the film. I was like, maybe I could just make do with it, but then I couldn't. So I rented it digitally for like $5 so I could get those scenes. But I like this movie enough that I ordered myself a new DVD copy of it just because I want to have a physical copy of this film because I adore it that much. And I want to watch it every Christmas now. So there we are. Lisa.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm so sad that 14-year-old Lisa didn't enjoy it, but it's okay. She had her reasons. I think Gillian Anderson would be an amazing Eleanor to add to the mix of people for a remake. And yeah, I can't wait to watch it next Christmas because it is a new Christmas movie for me.
Lisa, this is the first one that you've acknowledged as a Christmas movie in the series.
Yeah, so far. Yeah, because Nightmare was
November.
a good November movie. And last week's was, what was it?
Batman.
Early December.
Batman, early December. This fully I could watch like on December 24th, Christmas Eve. Yeah. With my mom fighting about something. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
The true way it should be experienced.
Yeah.
Jeanette.
I liked it. I don't know that I'll be watching it again. But I will say, let me say this. So my dad, when he's here visiting, sometimes we have trouble finding like classic movies that we both want to watch. If I bring this one up, he'll probably be like, "Oh, yes, let's watch that." So like, it'll be a great movie to watch with my dad for sure.
At Christmas.
And I enjoyed it. Sure. If it happens to be winter time, it's definitely a winter movie. It's definitely a winter movie. Right there in the name.
Alex, come back.
Tiring coming in and out of all those characters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Closing thoughts on this movie, Alex.
I liked it. I don't know if I'll see it again because who knows what will happen in the future, but
Me?
well, do I have to spell it out? But no, I'd love to see this movie again. I really enjoyed it, and like I said, I'd love to like watch the play, read the play, do the play.
Yeah. Let's do the play.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Alice's boobs.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, I think you're gonna have to get prosthetics.
It's true.
Oh no, I don't have that.
No, not Lisa. Lisa can come be Alice.
I'll just be Alice. It's fine.
Wait, like Alice or Alice's boobs?
Both.
Okay.
There'll be a woman that comes out on stage as Alice, and then Lisa will come out. She'll have
That's
a
what I was
black
thinking.
robe.
And Lisa will be in front of this woman and will be the boobs.
Yeah.
It'll be Alice.
Yeah.
Coming soon to Niagara Falls. Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone. Until next week. Next week we are continuing this marathon because it's been so much fun. We've added more movies to the mix, which I think we kind of discussed on air last week, but it's official now for all the viewers and all the fans out there. Next week we are back with You've Got Mail, which is a personal favorite of mine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We switched it for anyone who didn't see the post in the secret group where we coordinate this. The following week is Gremlins, and then we close out the series with Die Hard. Boom. So excited for that. But now it's that time. Tell everyone what you're doing, who you are, and what you're up to. Let's start with Lisa.
Hi, everyone. Well, currently I'm crocheting because don't tell the people that I'm making these for. But I am producing a show called Sweeter in Toronto that opens this Sunday. So if you're in Toronto, you should definitely come out and see the show because it's very sweet. It's a family show. Follow me on Instagram at Lisa_A_Alves to find out more about how to get very good and affordable tickets to this show for you and your family if you are in Toronto between December 2nd and December 17th. Anyway, I've been crocheting these little flowers.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
They're like little rose. I can't. There we go. There we go. For my cast and crew because I will not be spending money on real flowers for them to die and go into the garbage. Unlike these ones, which the cast and crew can have forever and ever.
I love that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm going to attach a stem to them once I'm all done. And then
Nice.
it'll be a little bouquet. It'll be really cute. Anyway, thank you for putting up with my crocheting tonight.
Oh, it had Eleanor vibes, like Eleanor in the past.
With the needlepoint.
Yeah.
Maybe next time I'll do some needlepoint.
Do it. Thank you, Lisa. Woo.
Hello. So, yeah, you can find me here. Probably not next week, but the week after, because it's my daughter's birthday next week. Woo.
Happy birthday.
Yay. And so yeah, but then you can also find me on Thursdays on We Like Theme Parks podcast. So tomorrow we have a new episode coming out, and that'll be about Festival of the Holidays. And yeah, then I'm just hanging out for the holidays. I'm just excited about Christmas movies.
Me too.
And fires. And that's it.
Love it. Thank you, Jeanette.
Well, you already know, and I know that you already know, and you already know that I know that you know, and we know that they know, and they know that we know that they know. So, we know, you know?
We do know. At least I know. You know that I know. And I know you know I know. We collectively know that they know. They know that we know that they know. And Vince knows we know it. We're a knowledgeable TV show. Look, it's Jeanette. I don't know what she's doing. I just saw her eye got really big.
I was like, who knows? No.
Okay. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, well, who knows? See you next week, everyone. You've got mail. How do we end this? Bye.